it's Sylvia Michetti. Welcome to Luminosity TV. Before I talk to you today, I wanted to just say a big thank you to all of you who have been sending me direct messages about my videos and telling me how it's helping you to have a more positive outlook towards life. I always say that it starts with your mindset, so nothing gives me greater joy to just know that someone's finding benefit in some of the experiences that I'm sharing. So last Sunday I talked about how words can impact on our environment. My hope is always that my words are guided in such a way that they can reach the right set of ears, so that even in the smallest possible way we can wake up something in our spirits together that would lead us into being better human beings. Because when our spirit is awake, we can recognize who we are and what our purpose is on earth. And that way we cannot be easily swayed by some of the impurities of this world. I believe that it is the duty of each and every one of us to find out who we are, where we have come from, and why we've been born into this world in the first place. I mean, surely you must know that as a spirit, you are not useless and without purpose. Because believe it or not, even a fly on the wall has got purpose. And even a stone has its own radiation. So have you ever asked yourself, what's mine? What's my purpose? Were you just born into this world to be a child and grow up and go to school and get a job and pay bills, get married and have kids of your own and grow old, retire and die? It's when I think about it, I find those things very limiting. And even more so because we have very limited time to do all of these things, and they're purely earthly things anyway. So what happens when we leave our physical body? A lot of us don't even get to do all of those things before it's time to check out. And we eventually have to leave everything behind. So what happens then? What happens afterwards? While we're busy making all of these future plans, are we thinking about after? Or are we fooling ourselves by thinking that after is a long time from now? So if you don't at least know what your purpose is here on earth, and you reckon it's just a cycle of getting a job and working hard and acquiring material stuff, then have you at least considered what happens when you leave? Like, where does your spirit go? What does it carry on doing? Is it back to the daily hustle in the spirit world? Or are we going to be lavishly living our lives in our 6-bedroom home over there? No. Again, it is our duty, each and every one of us, to stand in this knowledge of what will happen to us when we leave our physical body. But we are so indolent that we refuse to allow ourselves to even think about it. The fear of the unknown. Many people don't even want to hear the word death or anything that's remotely going to remind them that this is not their home, and that we are mere travelers on these roads, and the roads will take us in so many different directions. It would be either smooth sailing or it will be bumpy based on our deeds and our activities here. And any little reminder becomes a scary thought, because deep down the spirit knows. It knows that something is amiss and that it is not fulfilling that which it was intended to fulfill. It is not operating at full capacity and definitely not trending in the right direction. I ask a few people every now and again when I get the chance to, very simple question: what will happen to you when you die? You should know. People have been dying for centuries, and to bring it even closer to home, some of us have lost loved ones, and we cry our eyes out, disturbing them on their journey and making them feel bad for leaving us. But where do you think they go? Why is it so difficult for us to answer these simple questions about life? Why? Because we aren't getting any younger. Every year we celebrate our birthday. It's a milestone, but it's also a loosening of those threads that connect us to this earth. And then it connects us one step closer to checking out of this place. So when you turn 40, and then 45, and then 50, and then 55, and then 60, it becomes scary, isn't it? But again, we are afraid because we know that over the years and through the course of our earth life, we have deviated from our true purpose. And year in, year out, we lay this huge emphasis on our material environment and the things that we can acquire. We pretend that we are going to be here forever. And our self-gratification and all of those earthly achievements, they just block our minds. We're always thinking about here, but not about hereafter. Everything that is here has now become the basis for which our success is measured. My car, my house, my designer bags, my shoes, my private jet. Yeah, Sylvia, your private jet. Whilst we're clinging to all of these, the spirit remains docile and fast asleep. Many of us do not even trouble to know that we are spirits. We just think we're only our physical body, that we are a spiritual being with an intuition, and that we have the power to actually control and instruct our body and our brain to do that which the spirit wills, that which the spirit wants. And the spirit desperately wants to do good. It wants to know where it's going to go after this place. But we suppress it with this cunning intellect that we have, and we fool ourselves into believing that our material environment is all and all. The ignorance of the mind, it's the biggest problem of them all. The fear of getting it wrong. Because when you ask someone, what will happen to you when you die? They say, well, I don't know. With all of their intellectual knowledge and educational qualifications, no one knows. No one has gone and come back to tell us. There are too many opinions about how we're going to, what would happen to us when we die. So I don't want to get confused because I don't know which one's right. But that's ignorance. That's like saying, well, there are different people around the world and there are too many of them. I can't figure out what race I belong to. So I'm just going to wing it. So someone asked me, Sylvia, what race do you belong to? I go, I think I'm Asian. I don't know. You will have to do the work to know, won't you? You have to look at yourself and say, well, skin color, black, land of birth, Nigeria, languages spoken, English, ethnic, Yoruba, all of those, you will have to do the work. There has been numerous accounts of over centuries of things that bother with what happens when we leave this earth life. Reincarnation, life after death, of the beyond, of life, above us and below us. But no, we are too afraid, so we make excuses. But it's just not important because we have other more important things that have taken precedent. Life is too sweet to talk about death. And other things are considered more important, like my taxes, like my car. I'll think of my spirit in my later years. Let me figure out what to do with my body. I need to lose some weight. When there's nothing left for all of those earthly pleasures that we are enjoying and all that hustle and bustle is over, then that's when we think about what's going to happen. And if you're unlucky and your health is failing and you're strapped on your hospital bed and you have breathing devices being attached to you left, right, and center, that's the time to think of higher stuff. Oh, I've got to meditate. I need to pray. I need to read my scriptures. I need to do Tai Chi. Oh, I need to balance my chakra. But Mother Nature cannot be mocked. She watches you from when you're a child to being that senior citizen. Everything you think, say, or do is being recorded for you. Whether you're young or old, you are what you are. And what you've been doing here has a direct correlation with where you are heading after you leave here. So your spirituality is a way of life which you carry within you. It becomes you. It is there while you're at your poorest. And it is there when you're at your highest, maybe when you're next becoming the next Jeff Bezos, trying to make your next billion. And some of us suffer blind faith. We put ourselves in that category of my pastor said, my imam said. You need to seek out your own answers before it's too late. You need to wake up your spirit and say, well, yes, I'm ready. I need answers. What are my options? What's available to me out there that can help me find the knowledge of what I am truly seeking? What am I seeking? Because only then does help to find the right answers come to you. If you are not predisposed to finding answers, it would not come to you. It's only in humility do we find answers. And that's how we find what we're looking for. And that's when true help comes. I mean, true knowledge is universal. It doesn't need to be preached through religion or any other thing. It knows no religion, no creed, no sect, no race. It is eternal, unchangeable, and it's available at this time for every human spirit, provided they wish for it, provided they long for it and they seek it out. You must do the work of seeking out your own answers logically, not saying to yourself, well, that's what they said. This is what I was told. This is what my pastor said. What do you think? What resonates with you? What rings true to your identity? Have you even got time to ask yourself these questions or has life taken over? What happens when death takes over? Where will you go? That wise saying, seek and ye shall find. That's when you need the Spirit to be longing for the right answers. You need to seek. But let me guess, you have too much on your plate right now, don't you? I mean, between juggling work and the business and the emails, the phone calls, and the bills, the children, the school runs, the social media, the WhatsApp groups, the gym, the spa treatments, trying to pamper this body so it doesn't fall apart. I'm exhausted. There's no time to be spirit. No time to find out what the spirit needs. No time for the true personality in there. But allow me to pleasure my body that's going back to dust at the expense of my spirit that is eternal. We have lost our way. We have fallen into this spiritual nap and it's time to wake up. Nap time is over. A good friend of mine said to me the other day, when you realize, that means your real eyes are now open. When you realize, your real eyes. I really like that one. All of us, we need to know that we have to realize that our real eyes needs to be opened. All of the so-called good things in life that we lay so much emphasis on, yes, they are to be enjoyed because nature has blessed us with everything that we require to have a fulfilling and balanced life, including material wealth. But when we think that the pursuit of this material wealth is the sole basis for our existence on earth, we have lost the plot. Yes, material wealth is a necessity in today's world, and it is a blessing from the Most High for which you deserve, and it wouldn't come to you if you don't deserve it. But having said that, it won't come to everyone in this earth life, because at some point during our wanderings on this earth, we've all had a taste. We've all had a taste of wealth, of poverty, of power. So you can crawl, skip, hop, fly, jump, float, and work as hard as you want. But in reality, we can't all be billionaires, nor can we ever reach our financial goals, because even a Jeff Bezos is still looking to make more Jeff Bezos billions. So who wants to be a billionaire? We all put our hands up. So do we say, when do we then say, oh, it's enough, I've made enough? It's never enough, because it's a moving target that we never get to. We never reach that financial goal. It's unattainable. We keep moving the goalpost till we die. If I make 3 million now, I want 6 million next week. The human being of today has lost his way to greed and selfish desires and the competition with each other to exercise ego and power and command respect. And then we fool ourselves into thinking we've arrived. My ego is up here. We are judging and being judged based on the stuff that we have. But not until a human being recognizes that despite all the enjoyments of these earthly things, which is quite temporary, none of it comes remotely close to the purpose for which your spirit is here. And that there's a simpler, truer, more logical reason for which you're here, of which consciously or unconsciously you still have to experience it. So it beckons the question again, why are you here? Isn't it time you find out before it's too late? Anyway, join me next Sunday for the concluding part of this episode. So until then, just remember, you may not know it yet, but there's no human being without purpose. And for each one, it is their duty to find out. Until next time, bye-bye.